PK brings something that fits their playstyle holistically. They love playing these healer drafts, so I think that's going to fit into them very well. Sanguine looked like they brought a very strong late game team fight. That's about as Sanguine as it gets. But Sanguine did call PK just a regular team that you can beat every single time. Let's see if that rings true.
Thanks so much, Finch and Mifflin on the desk. Yes, let's see if they can cash them in game number 1, because this has been a bit of an awkward back and forth between the two, in my opinion. Gormaz is going to be joining me on the call here, and Gore, let's be honest real quick. I mean, I'm looking through the game, and honestly, with how things have gone between these two teams so far this year, PK
keep up with someone like a Yemoja, but it's still Sustain that she's going to be able to bring. But also not someone who's done historically well. I mean, in Phase 2, I think she's been picked 6 times.
In the sky,
most of those.
Comes down, Paddington, looking for the dunk, catches the wall, but the nice little use of that Riptide from Neil is keeping him top. Wow. Oh my goodness me, that pillar from Rongyu on point. Body block to death. Zap will not be happy about that one. Great decision from Paddington though. Hits 5, goes straight to Duro just before they hit 5-2, so they don't have those counter ultimates available, and keeps that pressure rolling. I do want to note as well, both junglers this game hold out fort though. Feels a look down, Harp on 2, Netroid forced to use the beads. The Yemoja going to keep him pinned in place, as now he takes to the sky. No rotation coming in from the junglers, so this is a straight 2v2 man mode, and Zapman, who started the engagement, is going to fall down for his 2nd time this game. Netroid getting himself a kill.
And if Rongyu had just a little bit more mana, I honestly... Yeah, being able to pick up even slight level leads, especially in the support, I think it's been big for him.
Oh, that burst pressure, too much for Paddington. Too much coming out from the new Tsukiyomi added to the game there. No real chance to really turn it around. And I think that's the one danger they've got to watch out for.
Which tilts things much more in favor of the Knights.
Would you look at this, PK seeing opening, too many members of Sanguine on the right-hand side, they're going for the Gold Fury, and in comes Netroid to try and contest. The River's Rebuke is down, and Neil Mar will swipe the board away as the Gold Fury goes the way of PK. And that also cost him Netroid. Now there's some more pressure as they look to try and find more options in the net there for now. Into the sky goes Panetom. Catches 3 in the ult, but where's the damage? They need it soon. Argus into play, but it's not enough to force or find a kill into PK at all. Scary still man-moding on the front line here. Just look at how tanky and healthy PK are. And now poor old Netroid's under pressure again. The Heart Bomb will detonate in the sky for more damage, but they just need a couple more shots, and Paul secures his first kill of the game. PK are out for blood here. Maybe they did hear that.
Walk into the jungle to contest these buffs without being met with a big fight waiting for him from the Knights.
Red buff is being contested here, mainly by Neil Mar, but support is on the way. Wrapping around the back is Cubo. He's looking for the pressure onto Paddington, and the damage again is just too much for him to handle. Even though Argus has dropped the health bars and PK are healthy enough, Cubo wanted more with that ultimate, but couldn't find enough. Into the fray goes Scary D, slashing away and making sure he pushes back Sanguine some more. But this is between a tier 1 and tier 2 tower. What's the reason for that, boys? It's more than anything, PK are feeling themselves right now, and I can understand why, as with the minion wave into mid, they look for this tier 1 tower. Neil leading the charge again, no ultimate available for him as he's rooted out, but it's allowing Scary D to create some distance to tier 1 falls, and PK extend their lead at the same time as the confidence here, I feel, from PK to go for the FG. They spot 2 in that left-hand side, and only 2 members of Sanguine really around, Paddington and Jakor around to try and contest, but the River's Rebuke is going to isolate him again. And every time I say River's Rebuke, it's because Neil is having a great game secretly here. Don't keep from Paddington though, but look at the damage on Cubo. It's not enough. And now with Shinto using Argus as well, he's trapped in an awkward spot, pinned it in by the Riptide 2. Paul now giving chase for Paddington. Rongyu and Netroid on the way to support, but the damage has been done. PK have an FG pre-20 minutes, and there's not much. Again, the sustain, even through the anti-heal, is just too much here for Sanguine to handle. All 5 members now, this could be a fight for them. Rongyu pops the ultimate, zones them away from getting onto the Phoenix here for the most part. Do Sanguine, the ult out from Jakor to push them back again. But the health bars of Sanguine are slowly dwindling. Same cannot be said for PK with the FG and the sustain they have. Zapman's on the Phoenix again. The route out from Rongyu, he's gonna watch his health bar. It's too little too late as the pop goes from that Heart Bomb. But in comes Paddington! Big old dunk, trying to turn it around. Scary D sniped out by Netroid too, and PK have to turn away. I don't think it's that bad though if you're a PK fan there. You get an FG and you've got a Phoenix at 20 minutes go. Not too shabby. Fury. They're looking for a couple more kills here towards the mid lane, or even a Phoenix. Heart Bomb rains down, or should I say feels a love on Rongyu, who's now alone. That's 2 tanks potentially dead here, as Rongyu now falls to Cubopen's 4th kill. The middle Phoenix is now exposed. They don't have minions though, but do they even care?
Well, they do over here and left, and while the Fire Giant buff is gone, with both tanks away, there's no utility for Sanguine to try and defend this. It's at least a Phoenix. It might take a little longer than they want, though. There's a good chance for Sanguine to maybe try and fight back. I like that the Knights do decide to fall back, though. There's only so much.
PK are looking to break their loss streak against the top 4, and maybe just drag Sanguine the depths of the, well, let's just say it, bottom 6, I would say, with how this league's going on now. FG just respawn. It's not an enhanced one just yet. Neil happy to march on towards the front line though with Sanguine, and he isolates one, and that's going to be towards Jakor, but Jakor doesn't get his ultimate off. Into the sky goes Panitum, and Zapman's low. It's a big kill for Sanguine there. Some of the damage taken away. The fight is a bit split on PK, pulls out of it, and now Scaredy left to 1v1 Netroid. But Cuvo, Fred, who still isn't dead, is going to continue to take the lives and the heads of Sanguine one by one. They let it through, but maybe he falls here unless he gets some sustain. Where's Paul when you need him is what he's thinking. It don't matter though, he'll juke his way out of it. It's now Paul marches onto the front, focused towards Shinto at the back. Meanwhile, left-hand side, full fire minion wave on that Titan. Won't be enough to bring it down. But Pittsburgh Knights are really just trying to push in for this right-hand Phoenix.
And it's a 3v5. One of you for Sanguine's already at half health, and Shinto, they can't get aggressive. This Phoenix should at least be gone. Knights, I don't know if they want to push the advantage 1, 3, and 6. That doesn't matter if Cuvo goes 6, 0, and 3. Paul is undying as well. If you're not able to shut down what have been the carries, it's not going to look great. And that looked like a good ambush, but it's not going to work.
Yeah, they tried for it. They will root Scaredy, but that Teva's going to reduce the amount of damage done by all those Sanguine members. And now it's Jakor that's left alone. And Cuvo Thread, I'm not even going to cast one of the Tsukiyomi's abilities yet. It's just Shuriken Gusari Caltrop dead every single time. Now with a big old Argasol though coming through, Cuvo don't care. He goes straight to the back line, picks up more kills. Go, let's go to a break because this one's already done. Sanguine disposed of. Real quick and real clean.
Definitely doesn't seem to be their week as of right now. Started out yesterday looking like a good note, and then United clap back. We've said it several times.
Might be safe enough to be left alone in the back line, considering that Sanguine's dive isn't nearly as strong. It's just going to be Nemesis back there, maybe with the help of a Horus. PK's got a pretty strong draft here, but it's going to be very execution-centric. If they fall behind in the early game, they don't have very many comeback potentials.
Yeah, there's some sense to be made. I mean, honestly, if you look at how the picks and bans went there, Go, let's be honest. I mean, with what happened between the two here, what we really ended up seeing there was a lot of bans towards Paul in the mid lane. So he's like, okay, cool, you're going to ban all my mages? I'll pick an assassin. Staying towards this left-hand side, towards the dual lane side, and now looking for a gank potential. You did see Nemesis get some work done on the right and strip away, but look at this in the dual lane. I don't even think Cubo Fred's needed here. Zap and Neilmar combined to bring down Netroid, and there's not a whole lot wrong you can really do there. Even though the gank was coming through from Cubo, it wasn't really needed. First blood goes the way of Zap on this Freya. He'll be fine to get away for the most part, as he looks to try and get some camps. And that's opened up a bit of a window, I would say. Oh, that pluck, Neilmar! That was beautiful! The alley-oop from Zapman into a beautiful layup from Neilmar. The rope-a-dope real good there to find the second kill of the game. And now Zapman's up 2 kills.
To be able to get that. And unfortunate for Netroid, as he falls further behind in terms of farm now. But the good news is, again, he's still wrong.
Jakor doesn't really realize he's on his own here, but he's getting a bit of backup from Shinto around the corner, however. But he's already bursted down before Shinto can really make an impact. He gets good damage off and it hits 3, but there's no further follow-up. Shinto, though, senses blood. He feels like he should be able to at least get a kill out of this, but in doing so, he might get isolated alone. Look at where Sobek is too, wrapping around the corner. But luckily enough, Panatom is here to slow that down. Rongyu now rotating around to the right-hand side, and Rongyu getting poked down a little bit from some of that skewer damage coming on through from Paul too. And Neil just kind of marshalling the troops of Sanguine, keeping an eye on the vision, as now Jakor teleports back in, and it's Neil under a bit of pressure. He Just looking the waters, however. Final judgment's down for Shinto, remember, so they might not have the damage to find the kill here. I tell a lie, it is of course Shinto, but luckily Neil's still alive and will get away, as will Paddington.
And Zapman recognizes exactly what he can do with this, goes to immediately strip things away, but this is going to be a good rotation. That's the power of Horus. But Zap's low and the snipes are good.
Yeah, and that's going to force out Zap's ult that just came back up, by the way. Just in the nick of time to get that last little ult off. Really got caught in that situation. Action-packed, though, I would say, for the first few minutes. It's talking about action again. Metroid under pressure has no beads and has no life. Wherever Cubo goes, bodies end up dropping down.
And they're just consistently setting this up, even over here in solo lane. Scary D now in trouble. Cthulhu going into big form. And this is something, this Descent into Madness, such a good ultimate that we typically see in team fights. Not able to help against the Amaterasu. But that's the conversation I wanted to have a while ago, which was about how big Cthulhu should be.
Sure, well, we'll talk about the
damage for it. They have the control for it. What are you going to do? Ult in? And it seems like Rong Yu does actually think exactly that, but he's alone now.
Great work. But he does knock away from the Pyromancer. Can he swoop back to his team? He does. Into the fray comes Paddington to take out Cubo Fred for his first death in this series so far. And now it's Sanguine that catch PK. I thought PK were in a good spot to do that, but he just... And now this Pyro this time round should go down before even Cthulhu can realize there's danger. Actually, Jakor needs to be able to watch himself a little bit because Paul's turning his attention there too. He goes into 3. Rongu on the brave, bringing in the boys in with him in terms of Paddington. But Paddington got knocked up at the same time and couldn't do much about it. Jakor still frontlining and whittling down Cubo's health bar. Not much mobility on Tsukiyomi. Unless he's going to go back to the base, but he'll still get a kill with cow drops, I feel, there at the tail end to make it a 1-for-1 exchange. 2 for 2, I should say. Final judgment didn't do enough to Paul into the sky there with the snipes goes Metroid. And now he's back on the board. But watch where Zap is. He's flanking round this right-hand side. And there's 2 members of Sanguine. Overextended, Paddington at half health will dash back. But they might be able to catch Shinto. He does have beads up, however. So the banish off the mark. And Shinto slips the noose.
Zap has hastened ring though, and he's going to go up into the ult. They think they can burst it, and they do, for Shinto at least. So they open up that conversation, and there's still Panatom in the jungle. They might not know where he is, Hindu, but I mean, outside of all of that, I think Sanguine get a lot of good kills they finally needed. But the Knights absolutely answer back, and not only in ways that are helpful for them, but honestly, they're able to pick up even more farm afterward, and Zap's still hungry.
Well, it looks like Paddington was a bit cheeky over his own speed here, but now he's going to juke it around, wait for support coming. But Zap ain't going to buy enough time. A couple of shots is all it takes with a Freya. No ultimate available for this Freya, though, or beads now. And without that secondary relic online, it shows how long Zap's been in lane without going back to base there. But at the same time, Paddington does die, looming towards this left. That's what they want to try and go for here. Zap's clear ain't the greatest, at least in terms of towers, and he's forced to ult away from danger there. But that sets up Cubo Fred to sneak in and take out Paddington. Final judgment doesn't really do much to pull there yet again. And Sanguine are having a bad week at the office, I would say, so far. PK, though, looks like they're taking him to the cleaners here, as now Cubo Fred gets aggressive again with the ultimate. Jakor's slowly back marching here, realizing he can't take on this front line that's coming through from PK, as another 4 for 2 exchange happens on PK's side.
And honestly, Scary D, I think, ended up doing more damage to himself by standing under the tier 2 tower that long than really what you got to see out of Sanguine. But I like this response. I was talking about the fact that Yarkor didn't seem to be too threatened by the damage that was being output by the Knights in the last fight. So what do they do this time around? They just don't kill him. Ignore the Cthulhu and kill everybody else around him. Still technically win that fight, but then Neil ends up giving the kill credit over towards Yarkor. Zapman might have stayed over too long as well.
Might have stayed, Gore. Might have stayed.
He
what are you talking about? He missed the boss by about 3. And now Metroid coming back into the fray. PK are trying to and will do so. Strip the pyro away. Blinking from Neil gets the block on Rongu. And Rongu has to dash back to his team. But Scary D's having none of that as he dashes in and takes the life. Now the dash from Paddington to get away. Beachu's 2. Cthulhu's just waiting away on the backline, or should I say the frontline backline combination. Trying to bring him on down. But it's not enough yet again. Now the backup is here from Sanguine. But they can't hit their shots in time. Both teams really, like, that's just a battle of wills and minds more than anything else. So impressed by both there as Jakor tries to leap on in towards Paul and Cubo Fred, but didn't enjoy what he found there. Neilmar, though, lurking towards the front once again, looking towards Shinto for a second. PK staying grouped, and that's a big shot to Zap, man, who loses half his health. But Zap holding on with bravery with that ultimate, and ends up dying because of it. Go to the sky, Zap, you lunatic! Jakor has to fall back to his team though, and Sanguine are in a pretty strong position here. Look at the health bar of Neil and of Scary D. They're just a little bit too low to really contest. But Sanguine are hunting for kills, not the FG here. Knock up and Scary D of all people. The damage isn't there to bring him down though. Sanguine are just hunting for scraps, I feel like, here. They're still coming up with a victory here. Sanguine can't overextend though, or can they? They're going for a player mid, but they get spotted. Double banish from Zap. It's only Paliton that slips out. Paliton forced to double dash away. The carries of Shinto and Netro couldn't even get there, and now they're collapsed on. Shinto forced to dash away. The snipe's potential from the sky available from Netroid, but it don't matter. The backline is in tatters from Sanguine. They tried to make a play, and they get punished heavily for it. Only Jakor stands between PK, a potential Phoenix, or even the game at this point. PK are looking great to close this one out now. 40-second respawns. I don't know if they can end. It's 2 Phoenixes though. Tower's still up. I think they've got the damage, especially with 2 assassins.
And it's one of those calls, it feels like it should be close, but they're shredding this Phoenix. They're going to be able to walk this one in. It's a case, I want to say maybe question why they didn't want to pick it up, but they let it through 2 games in a row.